That's not how it happens, and y'all know it. So book to movie adaptations, in my opinion, are definitely either a black or white situation, and today I'm here to talk about the movie People We Meet on Vacation, based on the book by Emily Henry. So to start off, I'm not here to bash anybody, okay? But I will be giving my honest opinion and constructive criticism. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes if I'm passionate about something, I get a little snarky. But my opinion is my opinion, and if you love this movie, I love that for you. If you're in that boat, work. I, however, am on a different river in a tiny kayak all by myself probably. And before I start speaking completely in metaphors, let's just begin. Spoiler alert. If it isn't obvious, I'll be spoiling both the book and the movie, so turn back now while you still have time. So let's establish a baseline. Number one, I have to say that I read this book way back when it came out, and I rated it 5 stars. I remember loving it so much. It felt like a warm hug, specifically the chemistry between Alex and Poppy. It's something that I adored from the jump. So when I found out it was getting made into a movie, I was really excited, and I reread the book again. And partly I think that's where my downfall lies. Because I think if you haven't read this book, or maybe even if you have a long time ago and the details in your brain are fuzzy, you'll probably enjoy this movie. It'll probably be a cute little movie to you. I'll be honest though, it really wasn't what I expected. Now let's get one thing straight and two things gay. I'm not somebody who expects the movie adaptation to have every single little detail that the book has, and I wouldn't want that either, because if I wanted that, then I would just go back and read the book again, right? So I understand that that cannot happen. However, I personally do place importance on certain details that I would like to see get played out on the big screen. And one more thing you need to know about me is that I really like source material. When we are making a TV show or a movie and we are not sticking to the source material, I ask myself, what are we doing? Because as a reader of this book and as somebody who loved it, it's exactly what I want to see. So I don't understand why people tend to mess with a good thing. But with that being said, I am not a complete stickler for the source material, and this is what that means. That means that I can certainly let some minor things slide. For example, if they change the town, city, or country of an event that happened, hey, that's not a big deal to me. If in the book the characters are blonde and on the big screen they have brown hair, hey, also not a big deal to me. I can confidently say that I can let those small details go, but if a movie or a TV show is based loosely on the source material, then I really don't understand why we're all gathered here today, you know? And now that you know all of that about me, let's talk specifics. So because I reread the book so close to actually watching the movie, for me, that just means that I couldn't enjoy the movie at all. I constantly kept comparing the two, even though I tried not to. But again, whenever I saw minor changes, I was able to put that out of my mind. What I had an issue with this movie personally is that they just changed way too much of the core setup for me. So in the beginning, as I started watching, I started noticing some differences and I was like, okay, so that's not exactly how that happened. Okay, so that's a little different, but okay, I'm willing to see where it goes. Like how in the book, for example, Poppy and Alex start communicating again via text, and she invites him on a trip. That's when she finds out that Alex already is going on a trip for his brother David's wedding, and then they just extend that trip and go on it together. Now, this is not a luxurious trip by any means. They're kind of roughing it like old times because Poppy just wants things to be how they were. Versus in the movie, none of that happened. Basically, Alex's brother David just phones up Poppy and goes, hey, so sort all of your shit out with Alex and come to my wedding. And so essentially she does. And it's weird because they haven't talked beforehand like they have in the book. Now, I really was willing to let that one go, provided everything else kind of had legs and was able to stand. Another example, in the book, the wedding is in Palm Springs, and in the movie, it's in Barcelona. Hey, you all can have that one. I am fine with that. After that, more inconsistencies started happening that kind of bothered me. But again, if the meat and potatoes of this movie worked out, I would have been fine. For example, in the movie, R&R tells Poppy that they're going to be expecting an article on destination weddings whenever she comes back. And in the book, Poppy pitches the travel idea to her boss and she says no, and Poppy goes on her own dime. But she does not tell Alex. Alex thinks that R&R are footing the bill. Now again, all of this could have been forgiven, But where they really lost me was when Alex and Poppy didn't even stay in the same apartment on the trip. Now, that for me was the heart of the book. That's where most of the intimacy and tension between them happened. And the fact that that was nowhere to be seen in the movie was honestly kind of shocking to me. And along with that, another thing happened that I didn't like, which was that in the movie, in my opinion, they focused more on their past trips, and we really barely saw any of their present day relationship, which to me was definitely the main course. I would have loved to seen how the intimacy brought them back together, and how, because of everything that happened while they were staying together in this apartment, they slowly warmed back up to each other again and slowly became friends and slowly started trusting each other in that way again. Now, all of that being said, I did enjoy the actors. I think that they did a lovely job. They did incredible with the cards that they were dealt, but girl, honestly, in my opinion, we should have shuffled the deck or something, because they for real were not the best cards at all. But I want to be clear in that this is not about the actors themselves. Again, their performance was great. It's just the fact that whoever was making these executive decisions on what's going to go in the movie and what's not, in my opinion, didn't do such a good job.
I'm not even sorry.
And here's why. For me, even if the details don't track in the adaptations, as long as I get the same emotions and get the same feelings from the movie that I did in the book, I'm pretty much content. But because a lot of the intimacy scenes were just sort of ripped out of the movie, I really felt super lukewarm at best towards big screen Poppy and Alex. I'm gonna be really honest with you. Now, I think for the most part, Poppy individually and Alex individually were portrayed sort of how they are in the book. So Alex was very type A, and Poppy was very just living in the moment, easy breezy beautiful. So separately, for me, they worked. Together, if there were more scenes that gave heart and soul, they could have worked as well, but I just didn't see that happening. It's purely just that the story wasn't told in the same way, and so I couldn't feel the same feelings. It didn't hit as it did when I was reading it. Some other key details that I would have personally loved to see on the big screen, for example, was Nicolaj. I know they couldn't make that work because Alex and Poppy were not staying together, but for me, he really was a funny side character, and I would have loved to see him in at least one scene. Also, Alex's back spasms, I thought that was a little weird, because in the book it's portrayed like this is something that sometimes happens. So in the book, he basically tells her that it's something that happened 4 or 5 times already, and it's due to a lot of things happening together at the same time. And in the movie, it's because he moved funny or something, and it literally never happened again. And also, it was of absolutely no importance because it was over in a flash. Poppy really didn't even take care of him, and he went running the next day immediately. And so if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't have known that this was like a pretty pivotal thing that happens on their trip. And because I know that, it seems weird to sort of half-ass it in the movie. I would almost have rather not seen it happen at all if it was just gonna be over as quickly as it started, you know? Also, the fact that Sarah and Alex got engaged in the movies, but they were not engaged in the books, diabolical. Hated that. Sarah's story arc, didn't like that either. I'll be honest here and say that if I hadn't read the book, maybe I would have liked it more. But since in the book, she sees that Sarah is still working her old job and she finds her at the high school, it made no sense that she saw her in an airport and all of a sudden she was a flight attendant. I was sitting there going, that's not how it happens, and y'all know it, so bring back my girl. One thing I do have to mention that I really loved though was Lucas Gage as Buck. He honestly was a perfect Buck. He played that to perfection, so love that. But overall, in conclusion, the movie really did fall flat for me because of everything that I explained. So honestly, I'm gonna be rating it a 2-star out of 5, I think. And I'm really upset because I really wanted to love it, and the rain scene, that is something that I was probably looking forward to the most because it's one of my favorite scenes in the book. And by the point we got to that scene in the movie, I was just like, okay. So for me, this just really didn't work out. I might give this movie another shot in like a year when I forget the plot and the details of the plot and see how I feel then. And to be honest, these are my first impressions. I didn't even sleep on this quite yet. It's only been about a few hours after I watched the movie. So hey, things might be subject to change, but honestly, I don't think so since I do know myself.
Update: slept on it for multiple nights.
Still hate it. Hee hee.
But I would really, really love to hear from you if you read the book. What did you think of the movie? How were your favorite scenes portrayed? And if you didn't read the book, what did you think of the movie? Does it make you want to go read the book? Did you think it was sort of lackluster like I did, or did you really enjoy it? Obviously, there are no wrong answers here. I'm just a girl on the internet telling you her opinion, which really means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but I also really want to know how you feel. But basically, that's it for today's video. If you're still here, I love you. You are a little bookworm. And if you liked the video, then please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.